Back and thank you for staying with us. Now, a shocking turn of events in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Advocate Malesela Teffo shocked the court yesterday when he withdrew as counsel for accused 1 to 4. He claims he's been harassed by police and the state. Now, what does all that mean for the accused? Let's get some reaction from Meyiwa's family lawyer, Advocate Gerrie Nel. Advocate, thank you very much for your time here on All Angles. Firstly, what was your reaction when you heard Advocate Teffo tell the court yesterday that he is in fact withdrawing from this case?
Masego, I think let me start off by saying it's really unfortunate that we, after months of the matter on the court roll, that we have an interview to discuss the conduct of counsel in and outside of court. I was hoping that we will have a interview about cross-examination, about the facts of the matter, about the merits of the matter. But to answer your question, Masego, we will now have to appoint new counsel. New counsel will have to be appointed. It's an injustice. It's an injustice to the family that's been waiting since 2014 to get closure, to get justice. But, Masego, if we now appoint counsel and counsel focus on the merits of the matter and we get this matter running and we're dealing with the merits, then perhaps we can move this matter forward and we can get something positive out of this if new counsel is appointed and they're ready to proceed with the matter.
Well, the matter is expected to proceed, I believe, on the 4th of September. That gives the new counsel as well as the first four accused just a couple of weeks to be able to get this done, and then they still need to peruse over all the evidence, etc. You know, what does it mean specifically when it comes to the cross-examination that has already taken place with the forensic expert?
Masego, in a normal matter that's been on the court roll for months, one would think that there's been countless witnesses that gave evidence, and the new counsel will have the opportunity to go through the evidence and to recall some of the witnesses. But in this particular matter, Masego, we haven't even finalized one witness. So the witnesses' evidence will have to be transcribed. New counsel will have to go through the evidence and decide if they want to ask further questions and if they're happy with the process thus far. But it's only been one witness. I do think, however, that we're dealing with 4 accused. I don't know if they will only appoint one counsel or more than one. But there's a different issue, Masego, and that is legal aid appointed counsel for the accused before the trial started. They've then decided to appoint Advocate Advocate Teffo instead, and now they don't qualify for a legal aid. They will have to really motivate why they should get legal aid. So that might be a further complication in the matter proceeding on in September.
What do you make of Advocate Teffo saying that he is, recusing himself from this particular case because he allegedly is abused by the court, meaning the judge in this case, and is abused by the police, etc.? What do you make of those comments? Those are really huge allegations.
Masego, if you allow me, I wouldn't really want to comment on the conduct of counsel during a trial. I've been in court most of the days. I found the judge to be accommodating and extraordinarily patient in the matter. But if you excuse me, I wouldn't want to give my views on the conduct of counsel. What I can, however, say and will say is that I was in court yesterday morning, that I got so frustrated with the process and what happened in court that I left court at lunchtime saying to my team, let's go home. So I'm a bit perhaps old-fashioned as far as court and conduct in court is concerned. I've placed a huge onus on advocates to be respectful, respect the court, respect the decorum of the court. So I wouldn't really want to venture anything further as far as the conduct is concerned.
And I think quite a lot of South Africans who've been following this case, Advocate Nel, were quite surprised yesterday, and maybe a few of them were also annoyed, especially because of the fact that it took so long until a lunch break adjournment, until accused number 3 was called to the stand to testify about this letter, and then only for counsel to say that he's recusing himself from the case. But what's important here is the Senzo Meyiwa family. When you spoke to them to brief them about what happened yesterday, how did they feel? Do they feel as though this case is now getting even more stuck?
Let me just say two things. Firstly, we have to put this whole matter of yesterday, what happened yesterday, into perspective. Remember, the matter was postponed yesterday to argue the jurisdiction of the court.
Yes.
Now, when the matter was postponed to argue jurisdiction of the court, I mean, any person that practiced would have told you that there was no merit in that application. Then the state, and it was abandoned. So then the state indicated that the counsel for the defense filed a application in terms of Section 87, which is further particulars, and we all know that that's not tenable because it's only available up until time that evidence was led, and we know that evidence was led. Then the state also placed on record that the defense now filed an application with the National Director of Public Prosecutions to stop the prosecution in terms of Section 6B. We all know that the National Prosecuting Authority of the National Prosecuting Director, she does not have jurisdiction to do that. So lots happened yesterday, and you're correct, Masego. Then there was this application as far as the conditions in prison is concerned. Advocate Teffo placed on record that it's in the interest of his client. It was a question of life and death, and the judge then agreed to hear that application, only for the high water mark to be indicated that the client only has an hour a day for exercise, doesn't have access to radio and news, although that might be an infringement of his rights in terms of the Constitution, but it's not an application that should be heard by the trial court. It should be taken up with the prison authorities and not with the trial court. So as far as the family is concerned, we're very frustrated. You know, it's been a period since 2014. When the matter started, we all thought that we will now get justice, and only to be inundated with application upon application upon application. So, Masego, if we now appoint new counsel is appointed, and new counsel focus on the merits, then certainly I hope we'll get somewhere with the trial.
All right, Advocate Gerrie Nel, thank you very much for speaking to us here on All Angles. Wow, it's still going to be a very long time before we see a conclusion to this particular crime case. We've always known that it's going to take a while, but now it's going to take even longer, as you heard there from Advocate Gerrie Nel. The next counsel still needs to peruse through evidence and might even tell the court that he wants to ask further questions to Sergeant Musia. So it's going to be quite a long time before we see a finality on this case. In the meantime,